Hey guys, I hope you guys are all having a great Friday. It's Friday afternoon, I'm done with work, and I am feeling crafty. So I did disappear for a little bit. I had a week off from work, and I decided to fly to Canada and have myself a little vacation. So I love that. It was a little chaotic getting there and getting back, so I might do a chat with me or work while I chat and tell you guys what happened. But yeah. So I have a knit project that I finished. Okay, I know it's not much. I know it's not much. I don't even know if you can tell what it is. It's actually a scrunchie. I have been wanting to learn how to knit for so long. Like I have tried so many times. I I never get it. I made a coaster once before, a very tiny coaster, and then a miniature dishcloth. And that's as far as I had gotten before because as soon as I mess up with knitting, I don't know how to fix it. However, this time, oh my gosh, I managed to fix some of my mistakes. So I was trying to do continental knitting and that wasn't working. So I decided to just like go back to how I was doing it before, where you just throw the yarn over, and that just felt so much more natural to me. I know a lot of people say that continental is better if you're a crocheter because you hold the yarn a similar way, but my brain didn't work. So I've actually been wanting to learn how to knit for a long time, but recently, like that urge has just, it's really hit hard. And I think that's just because I've been seeing so many really cute sweaters that are very expensive. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, I could make that. And I really want to get into making, I guess, like taking graph cans and making like a picture on a sweater. And you guys know I love cats, so I want some cat sweaters. So I just got the urge to, I have to learn how to knit. And I was actually planning to do this for the 100-day project again, because last year for the 100-day project, my goal was to learn how to knit then, but things just got really chaotic and I ended up not doing it. So the 100-day project actually started last Sunday, and that was the day that I was scheduled to fly back home. So my plan was, I'm going to get home around 5 o'clock and I'm going to do my first 100-day like session, record it, and that was just going to be me getting out all of my knitting supplies and trying to learn how to do the knit stitch again because I had forgotten, and learn how to cast on again. But my flight got delayed. And yeah, I the whole time I was in Canada, I was like, I'm not ready to go back home yet. I wish I had some more time. And woke up on Sunday morning when I was supposed to fly out, and I had a alert on my phone, and it was like, oh, 4 minutes ago, you got an alert from WestJet. So I open it, I look at it, and it's like, unfortunately, there's been a change in your itinerary. And I'm like, oh, I get to leave later today. And I read it, and it's like, no, actually, you're going to leave tomorrow morning. And I was excited about that. It was a little bit chaotic because I was supposed to check out my hotel at that time, but it all worked out. I was able to stay an extra day there. And the only thing that was a little bit frustrating was because it was a 7:30 a.m. flight, and I don't like early flights. So I had picked out a later flight. I was supposed to leave about 1 o'clock, and because that's just the time I prefer to leave. So I was a little bit bummed that I was leaving early in the morning, but hey, it was an extra day there, so that was good. So yeah, so that kind of just like threw the wrench in my plans to start my knitting project on Sunday because I wasn't home. So yeah, so Monday morning I get up, get to the airport for my 7:30 flight, and it's fine. When I'm going through security, of course, I did get like flagged where, you have to like, they open up your suitcase and whatever, but I had absolutely nothing, so I didn't care. But anyways, so I go through, and I kind of wanted to get breakfast, but I didn't have enough time, so I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna get on the flight, I'll eat when I get home. Well, I get on the flight, well, I tried to actually, So, they're doing the boarding groups. They get to my boarding group. I line up and, we're all in line walking to get on the plane. And as I'm about to step on the plane, okay, how does it have to be me? Like, all these people got on, but me. It's my turn. I go to step onto the plane, and the flight attendant, like, she steps in front of me, and she's like, "Excuse me, I need you to turn around. We actually need to deboard." And as soon as she said, "I need you to turn around," my brain is like, I didn't do anything. What'd I do? What did I do? But I was like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, there's a problem. And then she explained, oh, there's a problem with the aircraft. We need you guys to all deplane. But just that moment of like, as soon as she stepped in front of me, my brain was just like, oh no, something's wrong. But yeah, so they had us get off the plane and they said that it would be a 30-minute delay. So that was actually I don't know, that was just making me a little nervous because I only had an hour and a half layover. So I'm like, ooh, I don't know, this might get close. So 40 minutes later, then they say, actually, the mechanics are just getting here. So we're going to just cancel this flight. Check your email for your new one. And mine actually got moved to later that day at 1 o'clock. So I really wish I had have just gotten put on that 1 o'clock flight at first, but whatever. Ended up getting home. But while I was actually at the airport because I had all those hours, I was there at 7:30. My next flight didn't leave until, 1 o'clock. I decided I would get breakfast. So I went to Timmy's and I got myself a breakfast sandwich. I got some Timbits donut holes, and then a French vanilla coffee. Enjoyed that. And I had so many hours left. So I decided to diamond paint in the airport. So it's actually a really nice airport in Saskatoon, and it's very small though. But I found a really nice spot that had like desk, and they had little dividers, so it was a nice little private area and nothing could spill. So I decided I'm gonna diamond paint on this. Oh, actually, no, I didn't decide to diamond paint on this one. Hold on. Okay, let's go back. I took this, okay, back up. I took this one with me. I have 4 of these. So this is the one that I had started a while ago, and it's the flowers, and this is just my favorite one. I did 2 more flowers. I think I've done half of them so far. So I think I have 6 more flowers to do. And I didn't want to take this one with me on the airplane because it's my favorite. And I was like, oh, I don't want to accidentally risk something happening to it. So I decided, I'm going to set this one aside, work on it when I'm at home. But I'm going to actually take this one with me on the flight. And this one, it is like what is it called? National parks, I think. But yeah, they are all these little scenes. This is my favorite one. Okay, I will say, when I opened this, I was expecting the size to be so much bigger. Like, I thought the diamond painting area was actually going to be this whole thing. So when I saw these tiny little ones, I was like a little bit surprised. But I think they're really pretty. So while I was in Canada in the hotel and everything, I would diamond paint quite a bit. So I thought that was so fun. This is so cool, the volcano. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so I have 5 more of these to do. But the reason I took this box, I was kind of thinking that maybe while I was on the plane, I would actually diamond paint. But it would have to be if I got lucky again and I had an empty seat next to me. That didn't happen. So I ended up not diamond painting. And also, I didn't diamond paint because getting to the airport was so chaotic. Like, I honestly thought I was not going to make this flight. I was about to just give up. But I had looked online and they had said, like, if you miss a flight, basically, it's not the end of the world. Just go to the desk. They will help you rebook. And sometimes you won't even have to pay extra, but I thought I was going to miss it. So what happened was I fly out of an airport that's about a 40-minute drive from my house. And there is an airport that's way, way closer, but this one is so much cheaper. So I Ubered to that airport and it ends up being way cheaper. So as always, I got up that morning, got all my stuff ready, got ready to leave. And my flight was actually not leaving until 6 o'clock that night. So I had all morning to get packed, to get everything cleaned up. And around 3 o'clock, I decided, okay, 3 hours, let me go ahead and call my Uber. I'll get there early, but that's fine. It was a little bit strange because normally when I call the Ubers, they're here within 5 minutes, but this one said it had a 15-minute wait. And I was a little bit like, oh, that's different. But I'm like, whatever, 3 hours, I have plenty of time. So someone accepted it. And the person who accepted it, they were very close to my location at the time. So they could have been here in a couple of minutes. But they started moving away from me. And they just kept going farther and farther and farther. And I'm like, okay, they're dropping someone else off first. About 30 minutes pass. And I messaged them and I'm like, hey, I have a flight to get to. And I just noticed that you are moving, farther from my direction. So I wanted to just check in. And they didn't reply. And then about 10 minutes later, they just canceled. And that ate up a lot of time. So I'm like, oh no, I need to get another Uber. So it automatically started rebooking. It found another Uber. The driver was on the way. And I'm like, this is cutting it a little bit closer than I like, but it's fine. My brain had forgotten Southern California traffic during rush hour. We turned off my street, got on the freeway, and just stopped. Literally, we were going 5 miles an hour for so long. And I was worried. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get there. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I was kind of thinking, like, should I turn around? But I'm like, no, I'm just going to continue on. If I need to get a hotel near the airport, whatever, and I'll just figure it out later. Okay, you guys are not going to believe this. My flight departed, the departure time for my flight was 6 o'clock. My Uber driver pulled up to the airport at 5:51. I made the flight. Oh my gosh, like I did not believe it. I fly out WestJet, and WestJet is always late. But this is the only flight I didn't get a message saying, oh, we're delayed, whatever. But so he pulled up right to the door. I jumped out, ran inside, ran through the doors. I normally go to the counter or the little kiosk to print out a boarding pass because I prefer a printed boarding pass rather than using my phone. But I'm like, no time. Let me see if I can make it. So I just had my phone. I had already had my boarding pass on my phone. So I just ran, got to security, and I do have pre-check. So I didn't have to take off my shoes, and there was no one in the pre-check line. I was the only person. Everyone else was on the plane. So yeah, I rushed through pre-check. Luckily, got through. The metal detector did go off, and I was like, I don't know why. I have nothing metal. I don't have a belt. The only thing I had was a ring on my finger. So they're like, cross your arms in front and try it again. And it worked. So I got through security, got my suitcase, ran all the way through the terminal. Luckily, it's a small terminal. And got to my gate. I couldn't even take the elevator. I had just like grabbed my suitcase and just went up the stairs, and I didn't have a check bag. So I just had my carry-on, just running. And I see my terminal. I get there and I'm actually able to board. Surprisingly, I was not the last person. There was one person after me. So I get on the plane and I'm out of breath at this point. So I get to my row and there's one seat left open in my row. And I just assumed, okay, that's my seat. It's my row. It's my seat. It's empty. Let me sit down. It wasn't my seat. It was kind of funny. So, like I said, there was one person boarding after me. So I sit down in the seat, and that last person boards the plane, and they're like, "Hi, excuse me, this is actually my seat." And I look at my ticket, and I'm like, "Oh, you're right. I'm not the window seat. I'm the aisle seat." And then the person in the aisle seat is like, "Oh, actually, I'm across the way." And it just created this whole chain reaction where so many people were in the wrong seat. So there's all this shuffling in the back of the plane going on. But yeah, so I finally got in my seat and made it to Canada. But okay, another thing, I fly pretty often. And I'm comfortable with flying. I'm not nervous about it. But this takeoff, it was a little it made me a little nervous. I've never experienced a takeoff like this. It wasn't windy, so I don't understand what happened. But as the plane was taking off, it was shaking so much. Like really, really shaking. And I'm like, I should have missed this flight. It feels like it's going down. But I don't know what was going on. Like I was looking around, everyone else was kind of like looking around too. No one said anything. We just took off kind of rough, I guess, but got up there and everything was fine. But yeah, there was someone sitting next to me, so I ended up not diamond painting, and honestly, I was so like relieved and tired that I made the flight. I didn't even feel like doing anything. I just put my headphones on and started listening to an audiobook. But yeah. And I've totally forgotten. I felt like there was a point to my story, but I don't know. But yeah, so in the hotel when I was there, when I would get up early in the morning, have the TV on, I would do a little diamond painting. And of course, I have to go to Michael's. And I'm so excited because when I go to Michael's, actually my teacher discount applies still, so I get a discount there. So I had this one, I was working on it, but a few days in, I was like, I feel like doing some round drills. So I went to Michael's and I picked up these two, and they're round drills and they're partials. Normally I don't really love partials, but I don't know, they were doggies, they're cute, and I was just kind of in the mood for something like this. And here they are. So I actually finished both of these. So I have this little guy. Like, look how cute he is. Oh no. Oh, I forgot. Like, I have some trash in here. Like, when I was opening these, I was just putting them back in the box, and now I just dropped them on the floor. But also the little corgi. So this one I had already finished in the hotel. And then I had this one started, but I wasn't done with it. So going back to the airport, when my first 7:30 a.m. flight got canceled, I was like, what am I going to do for all these hours? And then I realized I'm a diamond paint. So this is what I did. I just sat in the terminal, found me at my little comfy spot with a table and little dividers. And I just sat there diamond painting and sipping on a coffee. Managed to finish it, made the time go so quick. So that was nice. But yeah. That was my diamond painting on the break. And I have been loving diamond painting so much. It's so relaxing. I'm having so much fun with it. So I'm excited about that. And I really want to get back into these paint gems. I want to finish them. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with these. I think I kind of want to get a binder or some type of art portfolio so I can just slide these in there and just be able to flip through it. I was thinking I would just get a regular like paper binder, but looking at these again, I forgot how big they are. I know I could probably cut them and fit them into like a letter size binder, but I don't really want to cut them yet. So I think I'm going to just wait and order one of those diamond painting portfolios, or basically large, super big binders, and probably just do that and slide them in there. That's my plan for now. I do have a lot more knitting projects that I want to work on, so I'm going to show you actually my next projects now. Hey guys, so I took out another whip from my closet. So last time I posted, I think I posted about a granny square chevron blanket that I finally finished. It had been in my closet forever and was totally in the way. So I was like, I got to finish this and get it out the way. So I got that done and ended up washing it. Okay, I hand washed it and tried to hand dry, like just hang it to dry. And I cannot believe how much water that yarn holds onto. I could barely lift that blanket when it was soaking wet to hang it. So that was a little challenging, but it did dry, and I have a bag that I want to pack it away in, but the bag is a little bit too big for that one project. And I realized if I finish this whip, they're both granny squares. I can put them in there together for storage and it'll look really cute. So this is a project that has kind of gone through some stuff. This was actually a completely different project. So I had started a crochet along with Critters Crochet, and it was like every week it was a different stitch, and it was so cute. But I wasn't counting my stitches, and my blanket shape was not working out. And I looked at the color scheme, so I decided, let me just frog that and turn it into a granny square. And probably won't be able to tell how big it is. It's not a huge blanket, but it's a good size. Like, it's like a little lap blanket, I think. And I used all of the blues that I had, and my last thing was just to put a border on it. And I was going around putting my border with white thread. I just wanted it to have a white border, and I ran out of white thread right here. I just needed one more side, and I could have been done with this project. But yeah, I didn't have any. I had no white thread left. Like, I went through my stash. I was hoping, maybe I can just find like, just a little bit that was left over from another project. Nope, had none. So I ended up stopping here, and I went ahead and I ordered just a red heart skein from, I think, probably Walmart. And while I was waiting for it to arrive, I decided to just pack this project away. When I got my white thread, I didn't take it back out. So it's just been packed away in my closet for a bit, and I'm finally going to finish it. This is another one I need to wash because the cats were all over it. So it's a lot smaller than the other one, so hopefully washing it is going to be way easier. So I'm going to go find my white thread because I don't know where it is. And I have been using it a lot on like amigurumi projects, but there's plenty left. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up this border now. All right, so I just went through my closet, and my yarn is still in the closet because I haven't organized that yet either. But I dug through my bags and found my red heart. So I'm going to sit here and go ahead and crochet up the rest of this. And I was really lucky because I was like, I have no clue what size crochet hook I was using for this, but I did leave the hook in here. I was actually using a size I, a 5.5. I was going to actually use a size H because I didn't know, but I'm so happy I actually left this in here. So I'm going to go ahead, crochet up the border, and I'll show you the final project. So I'm about halfway across this last side, and after struggling with knitting the past couple of days, getting back to crochet feels so good. I am realizing though how much more yarn crochet takes, because when I was knitting, it was rare that I needed to pull out more yarn like this, but with crochet, I'm pulling out yarn a lot more frequently, but it just feels so, so good. And it feels good to be doing this granny border because it's really simple. It's just in the chain spaces, it's 5 double crochet and then a single crochet in between to like kind of tuck it down a little bit. Honestly, this is the scallop border, probably one of my favorites. I do want to branch out and use some different borders, but this one's just my go-to. It's simple, it's quick, and I like it. See, I'm already needing more yarn. And of course, I didn't weave in my ends yet, so that's going to take a bit. Hopefully I weaved in some of them, but honestly, I don't know if I did or not. So before I can wash this, I'll need to do that. Just making these clusters has already got me in the mood for another granny square blanket. And I think I know I said I wasn't going to start any more blanket projects until I finished some of my whips, but hey, this is whip number 2 that's going to be done. I finished 2 blankets, so I think I can start another one. So it was that one that I showed you guys before, and it's like a solid granny square in different colors, and they are all connected with like a light colored yarn, and the yarn that I want for it is the one that I made this rabbit out of. So the white part will be this kind of twill looking color, and then each of the blocks will be these different colors. I have a lot of them. I have like light pink, dark pink, blue, yellow, maybe a green, but I think they'll go together really well. I've actually been thinking about that a while now, and I know I'm not supposed to start more projects, but hey, I am working through some of mine. So I'll see how I feel. I do want to get started next though on a knitting project because I got to keep my knitting skills going. I got to keep building them, and I got to figure out what pattern I want to use. But I'm pretty sure I want to do a hat next, and then my crochet project will probably be that blanket because once I get a little overwhelmed or just tired of knitting, jumping to a granny square blanket I think will be just really relaxing. So I'm going to keep going. I'm actually just about to the end. And once I finish this, I'm going to weave in those ends. I'll spread it out and show you guys what it looks like. And then I will go ahead and wash it so it can get to drying overnight. All right, so I was spreading out my blanket. I just wanted to look at it and see if I had weaved in any of the ends. And as soon as it hit the bed, Nina here jumped up on top of it. So yeah, I haven't weaved in any of the ends. So I have a lot to do there. So I'm probably going to put on an audiobook and just sit here and weave in some ends for a bit. So my blanket is finished. I just finished weaving in all the ends. There were so many of them. And I didn't want to leave my tapestry needle laying around. So I stood up and put that away. And as soon as I turned around, Marcus got the blanket. So I'm probably going to let him lay on it a tiny bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and wash it because, yeah, the cats have been all over it since I started making it. So it definitely needs a wash. Hey, Cody. All right, so I ended up not washing my blanket last night. The cats were so comfortable sleeping on it. I couldn't move them. So I decided I'll just leave it for a little bit and I'll eventually wash it, but I'll just let the little babies use it for now. So that's going to be it for me today. Just want to come back and tell you guys thank you for liking, watching, subscribing, and all that. I appreciate it so much. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys, and love you guys.